Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Lord's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. This is your day. So glad to celebrate it with you. Hope everybody had a good week. And ready for another one. It started tomorrow on another week. So I hope everything went good for you this past week. Got anything that you're up against this week, just remember that Jesus always has your back. And whatever it is, you'll get through it. And we worry about so many things that we don't need to worry about. But they never happen. And you can sit around, and if yourself to death. If this happens, if that happens, what am I going to do with this, if, and it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean you don't prepare yourself for something or whatever it may be, but just don't wear yourself out worrying about it. It's going to be okay. It's always going to be okay because we're going to come out on the other end of it. We may get stuck in a mess for a little while, but that's all right. We'll get through it and we'll move on to other things, nicer things. But today, I just really wanted to talk to you a little bit about mothers. That's what that's saying, everybody has one. Well, that's true. Wouldn't be here if you didn't have a mother. Now, a lot of times people get upset when they have to talk about their mother or things that happened in their childhood. Maybe didn't have a great childhood. Maybe mama wasn't the mama that we would have hoped for. But we also have to remember, too, and we totally miss this when we're kids, we don't know what kind of struggles mom and daddy are going through. They got problems, they got things. They're trying to do their best to raise the kids and give you the things that you want. And when it comes to things like that, we ask for it as children, and it manages to show up, but we don't know what kind of struggles our parents had just to kind of make us be okay. I know I wanted a pair of loafers. They were called Nettletons, tassel loafers. At the time, they cost like $32 a pair. It seems like nothing now, but back in the early 70s, most shoes, especially for a kid and stuff, $10 would take care of it. So you're asking for something that's 3 times what they would normally pay for something. But I ended up getting them. And I don't know what kind of struggles they may have had to do it, but they did it. And they got them for me. So it was times that I know that it maybe was a struggle to do that, but they wanted to try and give me what I wanted. So we got to remember those things, and maybe it didn't work out when we were kids too well, but we got to try to remember, we don't always know what they're going through. They don't talk to us. We're kids. Because, I had no idea how much money my mother and father had when I was a kid. They didn't talk to me about that even when I was a teenager, or even after I left home and was married and all of that. And they didn't talk about their money to me. I didn't know how much money they had until they both passed away. And that was the only way I knew. Because basically it was none of my business until then. But I know that a lot of childhoods are not that great. I know a lot of people come from broken homes and things like that, and it makes it tough. And the kids, they try to do the best they can. And, it's hard when there's not both parents in the house. But I grew up at a time when most people stayed together. We had one guy that kind of ran in our circle that his parents were split up, but that was it. And early 70s people, they come from a generation where you just didn't get divorced. And so it's absolutely, I'll stay 2 weeks until I get bored and then I'm out. There's no commitment nowhere. And your parents are trying to do the best they can for you, and they're committed to trying to be the best parents they can be. But you don't know what they came from either, everybody's not nice. But it's something that how people can be great mothers and great daddies. And that's a great thing if you happen to be on the good end of that. My family, it worked out well. Mama was a good mama. We always had food. We always had plenty of clothes. And I know we had plenty of clothes because I watched Mama iron all this stuff. I don't do that anymore. But I used to iron everything, even underwear. That was amazing. But anyway, we always had what we needed. And we didn't have a whole lot of extras, but we didn't need a whole lot of extras. But we got things. We had a good time. Me and my brother can't say we had a bad childhood because we didn't. Did everything always work out the way I wanted it to? No. Did we always agree on everything? No. But Mama took care of the place. And they came from a generation too that Mama stayed at home. So you got one income coming. Just imagine what your life would be like if you cut half of your money and still try to make everything nowadays. Very hard to do. Can't do it really. Unless you got some very high paying job. But anyway. But it's good to know that she did the best she could do. I don't have any complaints. And my family, my wife, who's sitting over here on the other side.
Good morning.
There she is. She's a great mother. She always took care of not only our daughter, but she worked at the schools as assistant teacher, and she's been with kids pretty much her whole working career. And they loved her. Loved her. She was tough on them, though. She made them do things that they didn't think they could actually do, because she worked with autistic kids and stuff, and they can do a lot more than you actually think. But they had to have somebody to push them along. And she did that, and they loved her. And so I can understand that. She did a great job of raising our daughter, because I worked at nights for 20 years, and that was the growing up time for my daughter. By the time I got daytime, she was practically grown. She was 16, 17 years old. So I wasn't there except on the weekends, but she did a great job with that. She got, everything worked for going to school and getting our daughter to school. Everything was fine and stuff. And she ran the house. So I was highly blessed with that. And then our daughter's done the same thing. She's got 2 kids and ended up in a broken marriage, but that happens, and she took it from that. But she's a great mother. And she made sure her kids had everything that they needed. She made sure she had everything that they needed. And she did a great job with her money. She paid her bills. She got everything done. She's never come and asked us for $1. Never. She budgeted. She knew how to take care of herself, and she did it. And she's still doing it to this day. And our grandkids they're very blessed to have a mother and grandparents and our son-in-law that he's right there for him and loves him as his own, and does everything for him just like he would if it was his own kids. So we're very proud of that when she did get married again, that she got a great guy, and she got somebody they work great together. So we've been blessed. We've been highly blessed in this family. And I have to remember that God looked after all of us. He made sure we was okay. He made sure that we were there. Mom and Daddy was there for us. And then it was time for us to be there for them when they got sick and stuff. And the times came when Daddy fell, and from that point on, all the stuff that went with that, broke his hip. And it seems like when you fall, something changes. And it's not like you do when you're 10 years old and you fall and you just get back up and everything's great. You got some time on you, you know, you get to be in your 70s and stuff and start falling to things, it ain't good. So when Mom and Daddy needed us, we were there for them. They were there for us, so it was our turn to be there for them. We did the best we could, and that was something that they put in us, is to make sure that we did the best that we could. That's all Daddy ever said. I'll never expect more from you than your best. Just do your best and you're going to be all right. And so that's true. That's very true. But today, I don't know whether your mother's still with us or not. If she is, if you're close enough to see her, go see her. Yeah, because one day she's not going to be there. And I know you hear that about a lot of things. Oh, yeah, everybody says, yeah, this won't be there, that one won't be there. Well, it won't. There's going to come a time when there's going to be an empty chair at that table. And eventually, maybe even 2 chairs at the table. So if you got a chance to see your mother, go see her. She'd be glad to see you. If you can't get there, if you live too far away, just give her a call. You know, we got all these fancy phones now. It's a lot different than it used to be. Now you can actually see somebody on these phones and talk to them. So if you can't get to them physically, at least you maybe can do it on the phone. I don't know how all that works, but I know you can do it. But just let her know that she did a good job. And she got you raised up, and all the rest of the family had done all the things that she needed to do. And I know she didn't probably do all that she wanted to, but they did the best they could to give you what you wanted and to keep you happy. So give them a call, go see them. Just let them know that you love them. You know, because they won't always be there, and you won't have that time to be able to tell them again. And, you know, we talk about Jesus coming back here to get us, and in the rapture, and one day it's going to be a beautiful day like this, and he's going to come right out of the clouds, and here we go. And we're going to go back up with him to heaven. But that's great. It's a great thing. But we also have to remember that we may go before that ever happens. So we have to remember that every day you can still go to see Jesus. It doesn't mean that you have to, everybody's going to be waiting on the rapture. I mean, it's a great thing to be ready, but be ready anyway. Whether the rapture's coming tomorrow or this afternoon or another 20, 30 years from now. Make sure you're okay spiritually. That you have Jesus in your heart. That you're ready, that you serve him every day. You pray to him every day. You read his word. Because he wants you to be happy too. He wants to give you all the things that you want. But we have to do our part also. But anyway, let your mama know you love her. That's what today's message is. It's just let your mother know that you love her and she did a good job. All right? All right. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for coming by the Bible study. Love your mama and love your daddy. They won't always be there. So just always give them as much as you can when you can, you know. So we'll see you next week, Lord willing. So God bless you. And have a great day and a great week. Happy Mother's Day.